Hey guys, Denise here. It's email day, and today we're talking to Fading in Philly. Let's get right to it. Dear Denise, turns out eating out every night is not great for weight loss or hot flashes. Also, I hate cooking. All of those memes about the hardest part of adulting is figuring out what to eat at night? Totally me. So how do you do all those things like seed cycling, warming and cooling foods, and fasting? I totally see the benefits, but implementation is killing me. Help. Fading fast in Philly. P.S. I'm married. How does this stuff work with person number 2? Dear Fading, first I hear you loud and clear. Before I met Ken, my meals were basic. No spices, just for fuel. Sometimes burnt, sometimes raw, sometimes both. I am lucky for sure that Ken loves to cook, and a blessing can be a curse. He only cooks veggies like corn, and he's pretty fly by the seat of what is on sale this week. It's definitely tricky, but like all new habits, start slow. Add just one at a time until it doesn't require any more thought. I thought seed cycling was going to be super easy. I was wrong. It took 3 months to order 2 bags of seeds and to start taking the damn things. When I implemented fasting, not only was the seed cycling easy, fasting was super easy. Cooling and warming foods, we're still working on those. More lessons for the cook. But here's what we have figured out. Planning is key. And when there's 2 of you, communication is important. When I first changed how I was eating, I didn't do a very good job of cluing Ken in. So he'd get mad if I requested fish when our freezer was full of beef. He'd be surly when he'd planned a great meal and I told him I was fasting. I wasn't communicating. I know this is a food article, we're gonna get back to it here, but when you're cooking for 2, you gotta talk. So I mapped out a sample month and I sat down with Ken and explained to him what I was trying to do so he could understand it and we could accomplish it. And even though he intuitively knows when my period is, I put that on the calendar too, because it's the basis of the whole calendar. Now, if you go to my blog post at nowgetgoing.com, you'll get a link to that sample calendar, okay? So check that out. Now, at least Ken now has a basic outline of when to focus on chicken and fish versus beef and bacon. This doesn't mean that I refuse bacon during the estrogen phase, but it does mean that we don't have bacon every day during that phase. Now, what does meal planning look like here at the WP? Well, first, we look at the grocery ads. What's on sale? I mean, let's be wise about this. Number 2, check the calendar. Is Denise in a warming or cooling food phase? Number 3, schedule any fasting or low carb days, again, according to that calendar. 4, Ken might look at cookbooks. Ken might make it up. 5, Ken checks the freezer to see what we have on hand already. 6, we schedule the recipes so that the meat gets out of the freezer on time and is thawed when we want to use it. 7, we plan what meats and vegetables we need to buy. And then 8, I'd like to say we post this on the refrigerator, but once Ken knows the plan, it is the plan. At the WP, we look for recipes in actual cookbooks. There's always a stack on our table, but maybe you prefer Pinterest or YouTube. If you've got a favorite, let me know what it is, because we're trying to keep our mind open. As far as veggies, I try to pick grillable options when I know Ken will be grilling. My personal favorites on the grill are asparagus and zucchini. And in the winter, I roast a couple pans of vegetables on my days off. So I have them ready for lunches and suppers for the week. For work lunches, I start with veggies and I have a freezer full of frozen vegetables. And then I add the bonus portion of meat that we always cook the night before. And for good measure, once a month, I make a big batch of meatballs and a big batch of lentils to have in the freezer for when there's surprises. Like when I have a fasting night and so Ken has a pizza. But what if you don't have time to cook nightly? On your free day, look at your recipes. What can you make ahead so that supper is a little bit more ready? Maybe you make a hot dish ahead and freeze it. Maybe you make a big batch of soup or chili and freeze it. Maybe it's a pasta dish. Those are pretty quick to cook. Meatballs, yes, they are my go-to protein because I like them, because I have a great recipe. And then maybe you pre-bake a few potatoes, whether they're sweet or regular potatoes. When you're roasting those vegetables, you can always use them for home fries on the weekend, but you can use them throughout the whole week too. And of course, we always plan some extras when we do cook. Some people call them leftovers. I call them planned-overs, because sometimes our evening activities require a quick fix supper. Now, let me know what works best for you. Denise, did you know that Ken and I cook live on Facebook every Thursday at 4? You might get some good recipes there. So this month, March of 2020, we are having Vegetable Month. And tomorrow, which is the 5th of March, we are cooking onion poulet and apples. So I'm super excited about that. Hope to see you there. And at the end of every month, I send out all of the recipes we cooked for the month. So be sure you're on the list. Check out the blog post to get the link. Have a most fantastic afternoon.